Hello, my name is Danielle Dunster, and I attended self-help groups for this presentation. Um, for this project, I attended AA, NA, and Al-Anon, and I attended all three in person. While many students attended these meetings as observers, I attended them from a very different perspective, as I am a grateful recovering alcoholic. And recovery is not just something I've studied, learned about professionally. It's something that I actually live every day. The meetings are very similar in structure. They include readings, introductions, and opportunities for people to share their experiences without any crosstalk. And then participants can speak openly about their addiction, their family, setbacks, growths. Some members are called old timers. They have years of recovery while others get their white chip and it's been one day. And because of this experience was less about learning what the group is about, but more about reflecting on why they continue to matter. Being at the meetings reminds me always that recovery is built on basically community. So my recovery became my purpose because before I was a social worker, I was a person who struggled with alcoholism. Today, I have the privilege of working with individuals who are facing some of the same challenges that I faced. I've been working at the Addiction Center of Broome County, and it has allowed me to combine my lived experience with my professional knowledge. While I would never make my recovery any focus of the treatment that I provide to others, it's helped me understand the level of courage it takes to ask for help and how vulnerable people are when they start the recovery journey. In both the AA and NA meetings, members shared about rebuilding their lives, about relationship repair, how they deal with triggers, and staying committed to living one day at a time in recovery. Listening to stories always reminds me of people's strength and perseverance. And when I attend meetings, it reminds me how far I've come and has reinforced why I chose this profession and choose to continue to show up. All right, so treatment teaches skills. One of the biggest takeaways is that professional treatment and self-help groups serve different purposes. Professional treatment can provide assessment, counseling, treatment planning, and evidence-based interventions for people. And as social workers, we help our clients develop this insight, learn coping skills and strategies for their change. The NA and AA meetings give people something totally different. There are no treatment plans or diagnoses in the room. Instead, it is shared understanding, fellowship, and support from people with similar experiences. Self-help groups offer something very important, and that is belonging. Many people enter treatment feeling isolated, misunderstood. There's a lot of stigma, but in self-help groups, we find our people and they understand us and they get us without any explanation. Neither system replaces the other, but together they can create a strong foundation for recovery. Addiction is a family disease, and it is a disease. This is not a moral situation. And one of the things about Al-Anon that had a great impact on me, because I have not been to an Al-Anon meeting before, my husband has, but as someone who's currently studying family therapy, I found it really powerful to hear about these individuals' lives and how they're impacted by someone else's substance use disorder. People shared stories about trying to help their loved ones and how really difficult that is because there's nothing they can do to fix it. I really heard people talk about their healthy boundaries, finding ways to care for themselves versus trying to solve the situation. And at this meeting, it reinforced what we know as social workers is that addiction impacts the entire family system, not just one individual. Family members carry around a lot of fear and a lot of grief, actually. They spend a lot of years trying to relearn trust with the individual who has impacted their life with their substance use. And then Al-Anon also reminded me that recovery is not just for the person. Healing must really occur throughout the whole family. So progress, not perfection, something you guys probably heard in the rooms. And recovery is a process. People share victories, their setbacks, how scared they are. Some of them celebrate milestones, and while others just speak honestly about their daily struggle. What stood out to me the most was the acceptance and encouragement of all people in the rooms, regardless of where someone was in their journey. You could have one day or 10 years, and the level of enthusiasm and support behind you in the rooms is exceptional. In my work, I often support individuals who regularly return to use. They struggle with housing instability, mental health concerns, and other major barriers in their lives. And I always tell them the same thing. In recovery, you need to find your people. These meetings reminded me also that recovery is not linear. Progress happens one day at a time, and sometimes 1 hour at a time, and sometimes 1 minute at a time. And hope remains one of the most powerful, I guess, interventions that we can even offer as professionals. So people do recover. One of the messages that I see a lot is that people do recover. Across all three of these meetings, I witnessed people supporting one another through some of like their most difficult challenges. And whether discussing their sobriety, their family, their grief, their guilt, or even their growth, each meeting demonstrated the power of shared experience and community. As professionals, we sometimes become so focused on people's symptoms, their diagnoses, the treatment plans, and their interventions, and also their barriers that we forget about that community. And the meeting's whole preface is to focus on possibilities. As a social worker and also a grateful recovering alcoholic, I know recovery is real because I've lived it. I've been sober for the last 5 years, and doing this project strengthened my commitment to helping others. Actually, it's lovely to help someone find their own pathway to their recovery journey, whether it's through my professional, treatment support, through going to AA and NA, and the family support as well. Really, all three. So, in conclusion, I just want to say that recovery is not something that is left behind when leaving a meeting or leaving work. Recovery is really a part of who we are, it's how we live. And as a social worker, I've had the privilege of walking alongside others on this journey. And as a person in recovery, I do know that change for them is absolutely possible. So thank you for listening. And I guess at this point, I want to open it up to any questions you guys have for me about this different perspective that I just presented to you.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and congrats on the 5 years.
Thank you.
I really participating in or observing the self-help groups. It was just really nice to see how supportive and welcoming and just all the acceptance that are in those groups. And it's actually funny because right after attending the self-help groups, I attempted to search for support groups for my own health conditions. Unfortunately, there's not many, but the experience was just so great that I was like, wow, like I would really like something like this.
Absolutely. Talia, I have to tell you, my son many years ago said to me, "You're so lucky you're an alcoholic, Mom." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, none of us have what you have. We don't have a place to go where we can say whatever we want and no one will judge us, and where people will love us for who we are and support us no matter what. He said that
Right.
everyday people don't have that. And I was like, well, you know what? That's a way of looking at the silver lining for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome, guys.
Yes,
I know it
thank you for
like took you
sharing
off
that.
guard a little bit, but I love that you guys, got involved in drug court and went to meetings and found that there's community out there that is, Truly, there's no stigma, there's no judgment. It's just lovely. So I'm glad you guys got a taste of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
I have a
No.
question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, Emma.
No, that's okay.
I guess my question would be, if you could tell yourself anything when you like talk to yourself from 5 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, so if I could go back and tell myself something,
Yeah.
I'm really glad you took that step. I'm just so happy that I finally got to the point where I was ready.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a huge step.
Surrendering was, I think my exact words were, I can't do this by myself. I need some help. I think that's how I surrendered. I just knew. Yeah.
And I think that like going back to what you were saying about, being ready to receive the help, I think that's really important because I feel like, in my opinion, I think that a lot of these individuals who don't succeed are not ready. And I feel like that's like one of the most important things that you have to do in order to succeed is be willing to get the help and be willing to admit that there is something, wrong, that you are needing extra support. So I think that like with anything, but especially in, substance use, I think, really admitting to yourself that, which is hard. A lot of people, don't like to admit when they're wrong, or they're doing something wrong. So I think that is really cool that you were able to do that. And I think that's a lot of the reason why, people succeed is because they're in that correct mindset,
Sure. You're right.
of wanting to do better and make positive changes. So thank you again for, sharing that with us. That was really cool to, listen to your side of everything and kind of see it through your eyes. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
You're very
To
welcome.
add
Thanks,
on
guys.
to what Emma said, I can relate to that because when I was reading through the 12 steps and when people were talking about like the different steps that they were on, I was like, that's a lot of work. Like I personally don't know if I can make amends with everyone I've been wrong to. I don't know if I can do that right now. Like even simple things, I feel like it takes a lot of courage to do that, a lot of humility too, to be able to say what you did wrong, how, and do better. It takes a lot. And I was like, wow, like it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And I think even harder than making the amends, because when you get to that point, you're kind of like, let's just do it. But making really writing down the inventory of your character defects and who you are as a person and seeing that, you have faults and shortcomings and they're not, because you're bad or wrong. It's because you just have them and recognizing those, traits that come along with substance use disorder and writing them down on a piece of paper and then having to read them really brings you to a place where a lot of people will never be in their life. And it is humility. And I appreciate you saying that word. So, the immense part wasn't too bad, actually. It was number 4 and 5 that were the hardest.
Mm.
You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for all your time tonight. And let's stop this recording, I guess.
Okay, yeah, thank
Thanks,
you.
Danielle.
All right. Hang on. Where did it go? Come on. It's still recording. Stop.